Earth, the planet that we live on, home to nearly 10 billion people. But is it home to all of us? Some of us are not from here, and we know it. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level, we know we don't belong here. So where did we come from? Which galaxy did we originate from? Who are our original people? We have to ask ourselves, are we from the Milky Way galaxy or from somewhere else? We are on a constant journey of searching where we belong and why we exist in the first place. But are the explanations from earthly religions going to answer these questions for us? So many people these days have questions of life and existence, but are left empty with only more questions after following some earthly belief structure for years. We also wonder, why are some people born with incredible talents and seemingly have an advantage over others intellectually, and some fall short? Do we reincarnate and learn through our existence, giving us an advantage in our next lifetimes? Or do we live only one lifetime and go to heaven like religion tells us? Some people believe we're in a simulation and our lives are being controlled by powerful beings. Some people believe that a creator deity presides over us and dictates every aspect of our lives. Or do we have control over our own lives completely, and we decide every aspect of our existence? We live on a planet that's shrouded in mystery with ancient structures that were built, but we have no definitive way of explaining how this was accomplished. Did other people from another planet come to Earth in the distant past and help our ancestors build these megalithic structures? Also, do ghosts exist, or are they figments of our wild imaginations? Have the hundreds of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids been fabrications of people that were seeking attention? Or have they been here with us all of this time? We also have to ask the question about our genetics and why we are so barbaric and warlike. Were we genetically manipulated by other human beings to be predisposed to barbaric tendencies? Have other humans and people from the great expanse of the cosmos been coming here for millions of years, and people are only denying this fact? I'm going to delve into these things: reincarnation, spirituality, existence, UFO encounters, the paranormal, science, genetics, and the future on livestream, and discuss with you, the listeners, and try to figure out the truth of all these mysteries. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out together that we are all not from Earth.
Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend. Welcome to my podcast, We Are All Not From Earth. It's episode 19, Conspiracy Theories That Aren't Theories Anymore. Been seeing a lot of stuff on social media about, people denying all conspiracy theories, saying that people are nut jobs and, insulting anyone that has, an open-minded theory. Um, Guys, this theory is becoming fact every single day. You got to do the research and look at the facts, and more and more every day that goes by, we're figuring out this stuff is real. People have been talking about these things for decades now, about the Illuminati, about the link to the Catholic Church, and these powerful families and corporation leaders, and you know anyone with billions of dollars, and they're in on it. They're complicit, and yeah, it's starting to become facts. Also with the Epstein files and all that, the files that were previously released. Apparently, Todd Blanche, he is not going to release anymore. So there you go. A little bit of distraction. An unjust war in Iran puts a pause on the Epstein files, firing Pam Bondi, so she's not. She doesn't have to go to the Senate Oversight Committee and testify on the Epstein files and what she's seen. She's seen all of it. She's seen like thousands and thousands of documents over, the past like year. So there you go. and nobody's heard from her lately. She's in hiding because they know, um, she's got all the details on it. She knows, Cash Patel knows, and he is well on his way out. I'm telling you, he is. That man is like self-destructing as the days go by. So that's gonna be very satisfying seeing him fall off his high horse, and he's gonna spiral. He is gonna spiral. I mean, he's insecure. He's obviously drug addicted, cocaine addict, just like Pete Hegseth is, alcoholic, and everybody knows it. Um, he's just a joke. He really is just a sick excuse of a joke. And his girlfriend, his little mail order Israeli girlfriend. Oh my goodness, how pathetic! He can't actually get like a real girlfriend in real life, so he has to have Israel, send him a little girlfriend for him, and she's reporting back to Israel too. She's a Mossad agent, so yeah, wow, man, what kind of times are we living in right now? I feel like this is like a movie or something being like transpiring when all these strange things are happening, and um, people are complicit in everything, and it just seems like a joke, like a farce. Unbelievable. Um, so apparently, the war has restarted in Iran, and a couple episodes ago, I said, I didn't even know that this had happened, but apparently Donald Trump almost hit the nuclear button. He almost fired a nuclear missile into Iran, but the generals had to keep him out and away from the football. That's what it's called, the football, the nuclear button. So I had no idea that was going on. I mean, that just came out like the next day after I did that episode. And apparently, he was going to take action. He was literally going to hit the button and fire a nuclear weapon into Iran. Um, and the general who did that, uh, he did us all a favor. But generals are falling off the tree, um, left and right. Pete Hegseth is firing him. That's why he's doing it. I knew it. I knew that was the connection because they're against, nuclear war. They have some like semblance of common sense in their heads, and they don't want the whole world to be at war. So, you know, it's easier just to get rid of them and then to like replace them with people that are bought and sold into this administration and who actually want war. Um, for those of you that haven't like served in the military in any capacity, not everyone's a warmonger. Not all the soldiers that join the army and marines, that they're not all gung ho about it. Um, Really, most of us just choose to like join because like college and everything's paid for. Um, you know, you can't find like a regular job, so you just join the army, join the Marines, you join the Navy. The Air Force is a little harder to get into. Um, you need a high school diploma. So people that usually don't have a high school diplomas have like GEDs. They join the Army or the Marines, and not everybody is like trigger happy. They just want a job, want a career, and want a paycheck pretty much, and that's why they joined. Plus, all the commanding officers, they're not that way either. They're pretty much in it for the career. Also, I was a career officer. Um, that's the track that I was on, and I wasn't about war or anything like that. I was a helicopter mechanic, CH-47 Chinook. So um, I had no like negative intentions, fighting, killing anybody. I just needed a job. I was 18 years old and decided to join. So, but that was like right after 9/11. So that was a long time ago. For those those of you that were born after that, that was before you were born. So yeah, I'm getting ready to turn 42 years old here soon. and a little over a month. So I've been around the world. I've seen a lot of things, uncovered a lot of mysteries, visited other countries like China, lived in the Caribbean. Um, Also visited like Europe, Spain. That was really fun. I did that with my ex-wife and her sister and her boyfriend, and I gotta say I had fun in Spain. Spain's a pretty cool place. They got like really good food, so I enjoyed the food there. Maybe a little bit too much. Um, the last restaurant that we went to in Madrid, that was really nice. But yeah, I've seen a lot of things. Saw some stuff in the military. Seen some stuff, driving trucks around the country, and I've been putting the pieces together for like over 17 years, doing the hard research and going down rabbit holes. But that's what happens. I mean, if you are open minded and you want to uncover secrets, sometimes you got to go through all the nonsense and the BS, and you got to kind of discard anything that's not factual, that's not logical, and you have to do the hard work on it. And I have been doing the hard work for a long time, so um, I can tell you, like, reincarnation is true, and throughout this 17-year period, like, I've had my own experiences, and I know that there's no such thing as heaven or God. I've had actually near death experiences too. The last one when I was like 10 years old, and I can tell you, I came back different then. Started seeing like ghosts and all sorts of stuff. I still kind of see them, but the ghost that follows me around, I guess she moved on. It's an older lady. I don't know why she attached herself to me, but I guess she's finally moved on. Sometimes like the hairs on my arm would raise up and on the back of my neck, and there'd be like cold spots and hair groans. And I think when I was doing a live broadcast one time, it didn't pick up on it. But she said something like "leave me alone" or something like that. I couldn't make it out. I couldn't, and I turned and I looked to my right, and there was definitely a presence there. But after that, that's it. She's gone now. There still is a ghost in my ex-wife's house. I can tell you that much. Scratches on the walls, knocks over towels, speaks to the smart refrigerator because we got like one of those Samsung smart refrigerators, and the console would light up, and you could speak to it, and ask it what's in the refrigerator to order like new items and stuff like that. And yeah, this ghost would do it. So I'm not completely sure if that's the same one. It just like followed me to another state, but um, yeah, it was normal. It's normal to me. That doesn't make me nervous in any way. Ghosts or other human beings, aliens, or anything like that. So that's just a normal everyday occurrence. That's a regular Monday for me. Seeing ships and like interdimensional beings and all that. So yeah, I enjoy this stuff, and I've had a whole lot of other experiences, astral projecting and legitimate stuff. I'm not making this stuff up. Like some people do it for money and fame, and they just make it up, just to kind of fit in. But I don't record this stuff, and it's just normal to me. Like I already know that it exists, and I've come to my own logical, factual conclusions that there is no such thing as heaven or God or the devil or hell. Um, and I have access to parts of my previous lifetime, parts, not all of it. I'm still working on it. I'm delving really deep into meditation to access my comprehensive consciousness block. Um, but yeah, that's an ongoing process. The reason why we don't remember our previous lifetimes is because people just don't meditate. It takes years to access that, and to delve into your subconscious. And plus, because we are genetically altered, preventing us from having normal access to our consciousness, our spirit. So it is possible throughout like years and years to gain access to this. Um, and I was kind of lazy. I can't lie. I was kind of lazy. I didn't have much time to meditate, over the road, and so when I was driving trucks, it was too loud. It was too noisy. But now that I'm not doing it, I can focus on that now. So yeah, it was a combination of being a little bit lazy, not doing it, and just not being able really to meditate much. But now I'm focused on it. I'm actually achieving some things, so that's a good thing. And I think I pretty much mastered how to, dissipate negative energies. That's an amazing skill to have. And if you want to learn about that, you'll have to refer back to that episode that I did. So that's a long explanation, but yeah. So yeah, the war in Iran is getting ready to start back over. From what I know, Israel never, uh, had a ceasefire with them. They were continuing to fire on Lebanon, which Benjamin Netanyahu continually says Lebanon is not part of the deal. So what does that tell you logically? That he's a hateful piece of garbage and he wants to destroy the Arabic peoples. Come on, that's like a conspiracy theory too. Um, that what they don't want to destroy Arabic peoples? Yeah, they do. They've been trying to do it for decades and decades. They were doing it with Syria, if you guys remember, with President Biden, and even before that with Bush and Obama. They were doing it with Desert Storm, with George Bush Senior, and even back in the '80s. They're trying to take over all of that territory, Mesopotamia. They want full control over that territory because they feel like it's theirs, but it's not. It's really no territory is anybody's. We all live on the same planet, and we really need to find a way to coexist. But it's not going to happen as long as you have hateful, ignorant individuals like him, and easily manipulated pawns like Donald Trump. And he is racist too. He's even gone um, on in the 1980s and 90s and early 2000s talking about his plans for taking the Iranian oil. This is actual fact. He said that. He even said that to Barbara Walters, which was a famous reporter, celebrity reporter back in the 90s, and then she ended up retiring. So yeah, he said it to a lot of people. And he said if he would ever become president, that he would invade Iran. And guess what? He sure enough did. And then now he's going around lying, making excuses that, you know, it was the war was not initiated and he was not like tricked into it by Benjamin Netanyahu. That's partly true, but, he was manipulated into it because he's a coward. And um, apparently he's a psychotic coward. And so you guys looked at that video. My last episode, I put up a short clip on the White House shooting, um, and I said there was going to be multiple angles on it. There were like three other angles that I saw people filming it, and they rushed JD Vance out of there before him. And also, I need to do is I need to put together all of his appearances, all of Trump's like appearances, news appearances, and I'm gonna like compare and contrast the details about it, guys. I'm absolutely convinced that he has a double. Now, the man that was at that dinner, that was actually Donald Trump. The man that you see like walking to Air Force One and some of these media interviews, that's his double. I can tell you right now, because the first thing that happened whenever they were rushing him out of there, he took one step and face planted, and Secret Service had to hold him up. I told you, I told you, the man is physically incapable of moving quickly. He has to sit down the majority of the time, and he's getting all kinds of treatments for his sicknesses. He has like cardiovascular disease. He's got major calcifications in his joints. You can tell because he makes very stiff like movements. That's a clear indication of calcification and arthritis. Um, Also, he's got the big, um, calves, ankles. That's also uh, a clear indication of multiple things: kidney disease, um, circulatory issues, cardiovascular disease, which is caused by not exercising. That's what it's called. It's caused also by poor diet and nutrition. So even if he would have had, um, poor diet and nutrition throughout his life, but he moved around, he exercised, like did like tennis or something like that, other than golfing. Golfing is not exercise. Please, golfers are not athletes. No, they're not. Because I've golfed before, and it takes very little physical effort to golf. Seriously. Um, so yeah, they're not athletes, and he only does that sometimes anyway. But if he would do some sort of physical activity, then you know what, that would have counteracted the cardiovascular disease and kidney disease. So also it's probably like drug habits and stuff like that. So he says that he doesn't drink, but maybe that's true. But he definitely does other things. So yeah, the man that was at that White House dinner, that was actually Donald Trump. The one that you see walking around and looks a little bit more agile, that's not him. That's his double. I can guarantee you. There are people that have had doubles, and they even have this secret program underneath these secret cities throughout the country and throughout the world that actually create like clone human beings. They're cloning human beings now. They can even clone an organ now. So you'll have to look that up on the internet. But there are companies out there that are cloning organs. Japan has done it. China has managed to done it. As far as I know, Germany has successfully done it, and the United States is working on it. So yeah, the technology is out there. It seems a little off the wall, but it is happening. People are getting cloned, but a simpler explanation is they got someone that looked very close to what he looks like, and they did plastic surgery. That's very possible. So you see some of the things these plastic surgeons do, and then you see like the nightmare jobs that they do. Oh my goodness, like these MAGA women, like Laura Loomer. She literally looks like that scary little doll off the Saw movies. That's what I saw that on on social media where people compared her to the what's the name of that doll? But anyway, it's that creepy doll on the Saw movies. That's what Laura Loomer looks like, and yeah, she wasn't born that long ago. I think she's like 27 or 28 years old, and she looks like a plastic surgery nightmare. My goodness, what are these people doing to themselves? But also, Carrie Underwood is gone um, with plastic surgery. I saw a new picture of her. She did not need plastic surgery, but apparently she's MAGA too, and that's what they do. Unbelievable, so strange, man. What a strange world we live in. This is so bizarre. But like I said, I feel like we're in some sort of like science fiction movie. We're literally living in this movie. So, but yeah, yeah. So tonight, I want to talk about conspiracy theories. So, this kind of really gets me when people, they badger anyone that has some sort of theory. I mean, the way that things work is you have to start off with a theory. This is how it's been working since the beginning of time itself. That's how life works. You have to have like some sort of theoretical idea. Everything starts with an idea, and then you build upon that, and then you do the scientific research, um, experimentation, and then you find out the facts about it, and then you prove that your theory is either right or either wrong. But it, this term conspiracy theory, it's only been associated with people um, who are deemed like psychologically damaged. I'm not psychologically damaged. I can promise you that. I don't have any crazy off the wall theories. Every single thing that I talk about, I have literally proved it by through my own experiences or a hard research or actually like seeing this stuff for myself. So I'm not going to go on here and support any nonsensical theories. Like the theory about what David Icke has, that the elites are, some reptilians, that we're being ruled by reptilian humanoids. That no, that's not what's happened. Because you have to think about it. if if reptilian humanoids would come here from another planet, don't you think that they would do things a little differently? First of all, they have advanced technology. And if they wanted to rule this world, why would they go about posing as us and end up dying too? They would have longer lifespans, and they wouldn't be worried about perception or anything like that. It's just nothing about this reptilian theory fits. It's just absolutely bizarre. If there have been reptiloid peoples that have come here throughout time. Now I'll have to do like a whole nother episode on this, but there was a race of reptilians that came, and people misidentified them as witches, and they still come here. They have like they're not from far away; they're just from like several light years away, and they float around on these technological devices, and they still have like radioactive dust that comes out of it. Apparently their physiology is you know resistant to this radiation, and they wear like pointy hats that look like witches hats, and they float around like that. Actually, all the time you see videos about like these people in these suits flying around. Those are the reptilian peoples that come here, but in the past they were misidentified as witches. But yeah, they do some abductions, they do biological research, and they pretty much see it as like guinea pigs. But they're not trying to take over this world because they have their own world. And anybody that comes here, they know that the sun's dying. We're literally living in a system that has been around for more than 6 billion years. We eventually have to leave Earth. We have to leave in the next 1100 years. So it doesn't make any logical sense that other people would come here and what the last 1100 years that this planet is going to be habitable, try to take over for what purpose? If they want to, they could do it now. If they really wanted to cause harm, so people, please stop believing in that nonsense. That is one of the most ridiculous theories. Also, I'll have to do another episode on the simulation theory. So that is that's some of it has uh, you know some interesting points to it, but we're not in a simulation, guys. Come on. Um, Sorry, those of you out there that believe in that. Why would you want to believe in that anyway? Why would you want to believe that we're like in the Matrix, hooked up to wires and vats of liquid, and machines are controlling us? That's nightmarish. And apparently, there's a lot of people out there that enjoy, putting that theory out there. But I'm gonna have to call BS on that one too. So, but there are conspiracy theories that have proven to be 100% fact. So I didn't look up and get the facts from a bunch of them, but I got a couple of them, and there's a connection to what's going on now. So you've got the MK Ultra that started in 1953, and supposedly, according to the CIA, ended in 1973. What they did was they were trying to you know perfect mind control. They were using LSD, and they were infecting the regular people. They were infecting people who worked at the CIA, doctors, orderlies, nurses, military personnel, and they were sitting back and they were seeing the reaction that they had. What they wanted to do is they wanted to make people like programmable. They wanted to like wipe their memory and be able to like program them like computers. Like you can delete the memory from your computer and even the operating system and put a new operating system in there that you control. So they had this theory that human beings are programmable. We are to a certain extent, and they did have a lot of success with this, but it's not possible in the long run because we possess a consciousness. And eventually, the consciousness is going to heal any neurological damage, and it's going to overcome any sort of programming. And they figured that out throughout the years. It's just not possible throughout the long term. In the short term, it is. And you can drive someone crazy with the um, certain pharmaceuticals. So, LSD, they were also using morphine. They were getting people addicted to morphine. And then they were cutting them off. They were making them withdraw. Sort of the same thing that they were doing with Secretary James Forrestal, which was on Majestic 12. And this was in 1949. They were doing the same thing to him. They were, giving him insulin, cutting him off for insulin. They were also giving him morphine, other opiates, and they were cutting him off, and he would go into withdrawals, and he would seemingly go crazy. And they kept on doing it. They also did sensory deprivation, which is putting people into tanks with water and salt, some kind of saline solution, usually copper, for the electromagnetic activity. They're also doing electroshock and gene therapy. Um, but overall, what they really wanted to accomplish, they wanted to just do experiments like the Nazis were, and they wanted to develop telepathic ability. They wanted people to develop these these consciousness abilities, and people started to develop them, just like the Nazis achieved it. Hitler achieved it. There was a group of women called the Real Society, blonde hair women that were developing levitation, telekinetic ability, and telepathy. So they had a lot of success with that. The only reason why those women of the Real Society had success is because they're spiritually older. That's why they were Lyran and Vegan spiritual beings. But apparently, the CIA was just experimenting on anyone, and they don't realize that that's the connection. If you're gonna do these sort of mind control, tests for people to try to achieve this, you need to use people that are spiritually older, that have the spiritual capacity for telepathy and all that. So if you take somebody that's spiritually young, um, no, they're not going to develop telepathic ability only through meditation. But yeah, they have since realized that to use more intelligence people, um, and that's what they're doing now, guys. The MK Ultra project has not stopped. It is continuing to this day. It was immediately preceded by something called Project Artichoke through the CIA Office of Scientific Intelligence. That's a fact. That used to be a conspiracy. People said, "Oh no, it ended. It ended in 1973." But what do you got? You got Project Artichoke, and they've even admitted to this too. So there was a 1952 memo, and this was a year before the MK Ultra project actually officially started. So it was going on for supposedly 20 years. Um, the memo stated, "Can we get control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will and even against fundamental laws of nature, such as self preservation?" So, yes, they were trying to accomplish that, but They were really after the mind capabilities. So what they want, what these elites want, and they're the ones that started this project also because they fund all this stuff. Rockefellers and Rothschilds and all of them, they fund all these projects. Um, they want to develop these capabilities themselves. So if you look into like the Freemason doctrines and all that, they talk about astral projection. They talk about developing telepathic ability through meditation and through shutting your consciousness off. So they know that this is possible, that you can do this. These are natural human abilities. We can all develop these abilities, but they are going about it, the grotesque way by doing experiments like the Nazi scientists were doing because they had so much success over this. And funny enough, when this started, 1953, that was right after those Nazi scientists came over on Operation Paperclip, which that was also a conspiracy theory, and it proved out it was right because Werner von Braun was, one of the ones that helped America develop rockets to get to the moon. So, all right, now MK Ultra was revealed in 1975 by Senator Frank Church, which, funny enough, he worked for the Rockefellers. So they had no other choice because too many people would come forward. So they had to take a different approach. And so this Senator Frank Church, he worked for the Rockefellers. They were already done with that aspect of the project. So at that time in 1973, what they did instead of doing it on the surface, and they involved a whole lot of people with this. They went to colleges, hospitals, mental institutions, military bases. They did it. They did it on everyone back then. They moved it underground. They were, had fully functional underground facilities. So they moved it underground. There was no reason to, keep this a secret anymore because there were no longer any buildings or anything that were practicing this on the surface. And if there were any, they were so well hidden that no one's going to find out. So they moved their whole operation to these secret facilities like under Arizona, Utah, Wright Patterson Air Force Base, and they are still continuing to do this. So funny enough, these scientists that have gone missing, um, you know, they're committing suicide through MK Ultra. That's what they're doing. They're driving them crazy, and so was David Wilcock. That is my conclusion. Um, I watched, some of his YouTube videos, and I gotta say, like he towards the end, he did not look completely mentally sound. He's got that like alternate persona. What is it called? Like angry father or something like that. That's so bizarre, and a lot of people like that, and they ate it up. That just shows like a clear indication when he developed that persona, that he split his psyche into, because that's what happens. So our psyches are very very flexible, and the way that we process things is sometimes you split yourself into another personality, so it bears less weight on your main personality. That's my assessment of what happened with David Wilcox. It was forced on him. So as soon as he started talking about the Illuminati and all that stuff, that's when they started to come at him. Because I saw an interview where he was talking about the powerful families and the ritualistic sacrifice and the child sex slaves and all that. That's when they started to take notice. And when he was doing like the ancient aliens things, coming on those episodes and doing that, doing lectures and all that, they don't care about that because that's so um excuse me. That is so like um like petty that they don't want anybody telling the truth about what's really going on. So once he started telling the truth, that's when he became a target. But from my assessment, he hasn't connected all the dots like I have. But I think that it was just a test, just to see if it worked. And sure enough, it did work. So I don't think that he actually, um, if he was like completely sane, I don't think that he would have committed suicide. It's very sad that he had to go like that. He had a wife, and I don't know if he had any children or not. I don't think he did, but he had a lot of friends, and he had a lot of people that admired him and liked him a lot. So yeah, he was another casualty of this mind control program, guys. They're perfecting it and perfecting it and perfecting it every day. Um, and more and more people that are telling the truth, they're getting they're getting offed. So who knows? I might be next, but if they're gonna do something with me, that's not gonna work. I can tell you right now. Whatever method that they're using, radio frequencies, some sort of radiation or whatever, it's not gonna work with me. To split my psyche, that's not possible. They cannot do it through like drugs, radio frequencies or anything. How they usually do it, how they were attacking him, probably sitting outside his home, blasting some frequencies, because your mind can be controlled through certain types of frequencies. You can also initiate healing through certain frequencies, through alpha waves, and through accessing your spirit form and consciousness, because I've been practicing that too, and it's been working. So I got that frequency generator that works on a positive note. So you can turn it on to certain frequency hertz that you can embed certain things within the waves and implant thoughts into people's heads, and you can you can cause them to go crazy pretty much. So yeah, so that's my assessment. David Wilcock was MK Ultra, unfortunately, and so was the assassin for Donald Trump. And that whole video was bizarre. If you take a look at that, so when they first came out with that, with the video of him running through there, it was all grainy, and the resolution was off. That was the only one that they were putting it out from the Hilton, I guess it was. I didn't know where the venue was then, but it was at the Hilton, and and then all of a sudden, a couple of days ago, they put out a clear picture as day, but you can see everybody else's faces, but you can't see his. So that right there tells you something fishy is going on. And he was running really fast. And another thing, he was wearing the same suits as the Secret Service. So maybe he was a Secret Service agent. Some people were saying that he worked for the White House staff. Um, who knows? Unless you're on the inside. Like I said, this is a crazy movie that we're in. But yeah. So CIA director Richard Helms destroyed all the documents whenever Senator Frank Church was going to do it. He destroyed it right before. So guess what? Senator Frank Church warned him about it. They were working together. Guys, that's what they do. They work both sides. Unbelievable. That's how they control the narrative. So you have all these whistleblowers and people that come out and they say that this stuff is going on. Um, then it gains like nationwide, worldwide attention. Then they have to figure out a plan to not divulge all the secrets about it. So they get people working on both sides. So you've even got like Representative Luna. She's working both angles. She keeps on saying stuff about Enoch and the Bible, and she posts those pictures on about that stuff, saying that she wants disclosure. And what else is she doing? Actually going to have a hearing on MK Ultra. I think I saw that, but she is most definitely working both sides. She's a government plant. So is Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer is working both sides. He knows that more and more people know that he's an Israeli American intelligence asset. Guys, I'm telling you, all this stuff is connected. They've got so many people complicit in all this. They can literally control the narrative however they want it to go, and people will literally spiral, and your heads will feel like it's exploding. But the thing is, you have to find like some sort of like anchor. From doing this for years, you gotta like think logically, and you have to find an anchor. So everything that is an anchor for me is reincarnation, the teaching of reincarnation, and that we live a lifetimes. And also, I do a lot of referring back to the Billy Meyer material. So that's where I do some of my fact checking. I also, look on the internet, see things, observe things, make my own connections. And guess what? Usually I'm always right about it. But there's no reward for that, huh? There's no reward for being right about this stuff when people say that you're wrong about it. But anyway, but you got to find your own anchor, guys. That is not the easy thing to do. You cannot be like a kite drifting in the wind with these bizarre conspiracy theories and stories, because you know what, you're gonna get blown all over the place. So, all right, another conspiracy theory is Project Echelon. Apparently, I didn't even know this. I didn't even. It started in the 1960s. All right, it was a joint account with the UK, USA, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, called the Five Eyes. Um, Started from Intelsat, Intelsat, and it was the International Telecommunications Satellite Organization, which they put global satellites up. It's probably listening into this podcast right now, has been listening to all the episodes and recording it. Apparently, they have put up new systems as of 2024, which are powered by artificial intelligence, and also which is powered by Elon Musk's Grok. So, guess what? Grok is, you know, the NSA satellites, has blended with the Echelon artificial intelligence. So I guess it's upgraded. All right. So this was leaked on August 3rd, 2015 by The Intercept and Edward Snowden. That's a whole nother episode. I think everybody knows who Edward Snowden is. He's the one that leaked all that. He also leaked a whole bunch of other secrets, like what was going on with the war in Middle East and all that. He just dumped a whole bunch of information on everyone. And now, since 2022, he's like a naturalized citizen of Russia. He cannot go. He can't leave Russia anymore. Him and his wife can't leave. So he's gonna end up staying there. And I'm not even so sure if he's alive anymore, because he does like periodic like videos and stuff like that. But you can fake that with AI. Really don't know. Like, you'd have to go over there and see him. And he revealed that there were like more than a dozen ground stations across the world, places like in Tokyo, Washington D.C., middle of nowhere, Utah, um, Africa, all around the world. Honestly, all around the world, these ground stations, they pick up on things. They pick up on radio transmissions, cell phones, text messages, emails. They relay it up to the satellites. This information gets downloaded, and it gets like disseminated back down to NSA, and they sift through it. They see if there's anything of note, of value, or if they have targets that they're watching. So they go through that. They have a whole list of targets. Um, you know, whistleblowers, people who are telling the truth, podcasters, uh, news, people in the news, newscasters, journalists, political activists, all of them. Guys, they're all discovered through this Intelsat, and that's what Edward Snowden discovered, but it is still operational. And they are evolving with AI. So, guess what? It also controls nuclear missiles, fire nuclear missiles. So you're literally given control over a glitchy, artificial intelligence, the capability of launching missiles and firing like weapons from space and ground missiles, control over like every single computer system that can connect to that has Wi-Fi. So if you do not have a Wi-Fi card in your computer, it won't be able to connect to it. You have to connect manually, physical connection. But if you do that, um, then guess what? Then it can take over because it's in everything. Echelon's in everything. So yeah, that was a conspiracy theory for a long time that the government was not spying, but it turns out it's true. And they since that's come out, they have tried to upgrade it. They've been seriously upgrading their surveillance tech, getting more tricky with it. They're buying social media, which that Israel's already bought TikTok, and apparently it is the end of an age for Reddit, guys. I hate to say it. I spent like a few hours today looking on Reddit, finding some things that are going on in the world, and it is a bunch of nonsense now. It's a bunch of propaganda. It is looking like Instagram now and X. So guess what? There is no social media platform that I know about where it promotes free speech. There's just a bunch of like ads and nonsense on there, and that's it. They've successfully infiltrated Reddit, just like they did Instagram, which that was always under the control of a sexually depraved moron, Mark Zuckerberg, which he was in bed with the Illuminati. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was one time he was on a talk show or something, and he had this jacket on, and the person told him to take the jacket off, and they saw that he had the symbol for the Illuminati. He tried to play it off, and he said, "Oh no, that's the symbol for Meta or whatever," and ended up being the all-seeing eye. So with some other symbolism, some like satanic symbols all there also. And that's a whole nother episode to do too, because that is a long discussion of that. The connections that I made to the Order of the Dragon when I was doing that episode on Vlad Dracula. Apparently, they're the precursor for the Jesuits. So I'd have to do a documentary on that. I could talk a little bit about it on the episode, but yeah, guys, all this stuff is connected. It is becoming more and more real. Um, Conspiracy theories are becoming fact. Now, that's usually how it is, and then you know what people's reactions are? Whatever. This is the most bizarre thing. Like people have like no emotional reaction to it. It's because that's the way they want it to be. They put all of this, convoluted stuff out. People look at it, they drive themselves crazy, and then when it comes times for the facts, they're like, whatever. I'm just so tired of looking at all these conspiracy theories and trying to make sense of all of it. That's what they do. That's their game they're playing. But guys, you have to find an anchor. Um, I would suggest being open minded about everything and let go of the ridiculous theories. Reptilians are not in control of the civilization. Um, it's human beings that are doing the disgusting things. Earth humans are, and all these videos where like their eyes are slitting and all that, they're like reptile eyes. That's just trick of the camera. The man, people are doing these things for attention. Some of them are complicit, like these people on social media, these influencers. Guys, where do you think they're making all that money from? They're making millions and millions of dollars um, because they support a negative agenda. People are paying them. Israel's paying them. Apparently, uh, the influencers that went over to Israel to do protests against Palestine, pro-Israel protests, they said they were going to give them like $7,000. They never paid them. Benjamin Netanyahu said, "I'm not paying you." Unbelievable, man. These people are gullible. Why would you ever sign up for something like that? Why would you ever support a negative regime and then hope to get paid for it? And then guess what? They spend all their money to fly out there to Israel to partake in these protests and pay for the hotel and all that, and then they get stiffed on the bill, and then they have to come back to America or the UK or Australia. So you know what? You guys did it to yourselves. Stop being idiots. Don't support anything negative in the first place, and you don't have to worry about that. But that's how a lot of them are making their money. They make it off of advertising. They make it off of propaganda. Someone contacts them, says, "I want you to, you know, support this. I want you to talk about this topic. I want you to go in this direction. I want you to change your direction." And guess what? They got dollar signs in their eyes, and then you know everything that they stood for when they first started out, they throw it right out the window. So um, guess what? I'm not like that. So that's not gonna happen to me. Um, but apparently, people are very easily suggestible, and all they care about is money. But yeah. So the way that things are going, I don't see um, that this is gonna stop with these people being assassinated. I think David Wilcox was just a test to see if it was possible to get someone like him, someone intelligent, to lose his mind and his psyche to split. He wasn't really connecting all the dots, but he did make some of the connections from what I can see. And unfortunately, he lost his life. The other scientists, that's not going to stop either. They're going to continue discarding these people like they're pieces of trash, and that's the world that we live in. But guys, it's just about over. I'm telling you, it's just about over. I'm working on a new theory. Um, I don't even really want to say it, but it has something to do with the year 2028. So actually, the year 2029 is the beginning of the Aquarian age. So something is, let's just say something's going to happen in the year 2028. Um, like I said, I don't want to put that theory out there. I'm still, contemplating on it, doing some more research, but something significant is going to happen, and things are going to change. So let's hope that I'm right about it. But if not, anyway, guys, these people are literally deteriorating because the way that it works, um, as we evolve, as time goes by, people are going to start to open up to the possibilities of these theories, and they're going to start making more and more connections, and we grow in intelligence. That's how evolution works. Human beings don't really become, you know, less intelligent. We grow in our intellects. We start making connections, and guess what? The negative individuals, they literally deteriorate in front of our eyes. That's what happens, and that's what is happening right now. And the lies are piling up. It's getting so heavy with the lies, they can't hold them up anymore. Um, so all you got to do is sit back, wait for them to self destruct, and then hopefully, the right people will step into the places that they need to be and make this world a better place. And guess what? anyone like myself and others that had these conspiracy theories, and we were saying it all along, we're going to be the ones that are right. But not all of us are going to make it out of it. Apparently, they're, often anyone who gains any traction. That's the thing. If you start gaining some traction, some viewers and subscribers, and making a little bit of money, they're going to come after you. But whatever, do your worst. I'm not a coward. I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna continue doing it. So do your worst, and trust me, I'm not an easy person to take out. Not at all. So you're gonna find yourself in for a pretty big fight. But yeah, apparently David Wilcox was not a fighter, and he hadn't been like really meditating. That's like the secret. You need to meditate to have control over your consciousness and your psyche. So whatever techniques that they use, it's ineffective when you develop yourself to a certain capability. But if they start using like pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, um, you would have to be very, very resistant to that and like develop a tolerance. But it is possible to thwart their plans, and then they would have to take other measures. But yeah, apparently it's not going to stop. For a couple of years, if I'm right. But let's hang in there, guys. Please stop, spreading all that hate about conspiracy theories. 'Cause guess what? If you go on social media and you start, um, insulting people and pointing the fingers at them, and then they end up turning out to be right, you're gonna look like the idiot. So just be neutral about things, and take things as they are. Don't buy into every little thing, but come to your own conclusions. That's it. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Hopefully, you guys will look into MK Ultra and Echelon. There are connections to everything that's going on, guys. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So they are doing all sorts of horrible things, and there are hundreds of millions of people complicit. But they're falling off too. You got to understand that it's never going to last forever, and they don't realize that they have already failed the moment they decided to compromise themselves. So I've been saying that, but sometime in the future, people are going to listen to that. But um, yeah, you guys have a good rest of the weekend. Have a good Saturday night. Have a good Sunday. Rest of the week. I'm still trying to finish that documentary. I promise I will finish it. Um, I just haven't had a whole lot of time. A lot of stuff's been going on during the week, but I'm gonna work on that probably tomorrow afternoon, and I will put that out. It's gonna be a good one. But I will see you guys on the next episode, or see you in the next lifetime. Good night.